Sunil, how are you seeing the edtech sector in India, and especially in the context of global, because you guys work globally. So how do you see Indian sector in that light?
Thank you for the opportunity. Yeah. I think this challenge has been in the work for some time, so I'm happy to get it launched now. It's good fun. Okay. Just to give you a quick context, I manage the education business for AWS. Includes edtech and institutions. So I have two sides of the business that is quite visible. And I think one of the big things that I keep saying, I've been saying this now for some time, is that the market has changed dramatically, right? The education market in India has changed dramatically over the last 20 months. And you have this significant adoption rate going on both for online learning solutions as well as automation on campuses. So both the B2B edtechs and the B2C edtechs are both seeing significant surge in usage and consumption of their services. That's literally, okay? And the changes happening in the Chinese edtech ecosystem is also driving a lot of people to look at alternative markets. So you're going to see India becoming that center point for the world around education technology. And that drives a lot of new areas, right? For example, content optimization, make sure that you have interactive content that's effective for online learning, AR, VR, inclusion in content. These are things that we're seeing change coming in, right? AI has been talked about quite a lot. We're seeing AI becoming a de facto around personalization of learning. And that's going to become a big topic as we move forward, because the biggest differentiator that you can do between edtechs is personalization of services students. And that's going to be a big investment line, right? And we're seeing AI ML playing a huge part in trying to make sure that you can have assessments, content, everything personalized to a level that students feel comfortable, almost a one-to-one learning environment. And that's primarily what we're looking at getting at. So we're seeing that going in. And we're seeing interesting trends globally, right? Markets that were mature with edtechs, like in Australia, New Zealand market, is pivoting more into mental health, student welfare kind of area, which is very interesting. We haven't got there yet in India.
So I think it's an important point about masterclass that you touched upon, Sunil. And when we were discussing this idea about challenge, in fact, I think maybe Manglesh or someone came with, there are a lot of challenges, but how do you prepare people for those challenges? It's not important to just have challenges, because you land up people largely post MVP type of startups in those challenges. How do you cater to an idea stage entrepreneur? How do you groom an idea stage entrepreneur to reach to a functional prototype stage and then eventually to funding? The entire journey needs to be enriched, and through these master classes. So I think one of the things which even I am very excited about is how this masterclass model shapes up young entrepreneurs to create startups of tomorrow. Manish, your views about what's your vision and what's your expectation from this particular challenge?
Manish, I think I would like to start with the statement that this confusion of entrepreneurs are born or entrepreneurs are made. This is a debate which we hold every day in our educational institutions all across. And when I was studying, I remember most of them said that since you belong to a business family, so it is there in the genes. Now when I see the list of entrepreneurs who are, I would say, 1,000 times ahead of what any of the business families people could have been today. So this statement of whether entrepreneurs are born or whether entrepreneurs are made, I believe that debate there only. But this entire activity, what we're trying to do is that group the ideas and make it, I would say, viable as a product. When I say as a product or a service, it should be serving some purpose and satisfying some kind of a need.